Don't worry, by the end of this interview,
It makes sense.
£7 will be nothing. £7 will be nothing, bro. Let me call this dude.
I was looking to buy an Asti farm, you know.
For real. All right. You hear it? Ringing.
Hello.
Purplesky was good.
Fabulous.
Smashing. Those Using House podcast going on, people. I'll go by the name of Eric Lamps. With me here, I have man like King David's back.
Yo.
Back from vacay. Back from vacay. We'll go into that later on. Man like Dwayne, what's good? What's good?
What's going on, people?
All good. And with us, we have a very, very special guest today called
Purple Sky.
Purple Sky. My bad. Purple Sky. What's good anyway? Slight little background. I know Purple Sky from a while back. I won't reveal his identity. Bit of a backstory now. We went out for lunch, right?
We did.
Yeah, went out for lunch.
Turned into a dinner.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, more than actually good. Went out for a nice sort of lunch. Had some great steak, by the way. Shout out to Blacklock for the good steak. And then we just having like small talk about life, family, work, all that good stuff. And then your phone goes off, and you show me a message. And on your message had a significant number on your message from what we know now as an NFT. I didn't know you was into this kind of stuff. And then you started breaking down how you got into it. But I won't talk too much. Just tell me a bit about like how did you get into this kind of stuff?
How did I get into NFT? But you guys all know what NFTs are, right?
This is going to be a dummy guide for those that don't know as well. Because like
give us a breakdown.
Yeah, give us the breakdown. We don't we know nothing. We know nothing here.
Yeah, let me just break it down like in absolute layman's terms without the jargon. Because the one thing is, I'm a simpleton. I don't do jargon. You know that, Eric.
Yeah, I know.
NFT is just like it's a one of a kind asset in the digital space, right? And it just can be like bought and sold in just like you would any piece of property, right? Mm-hmm. So it could be like a photo or a video or a piece of audio. But each of these like digital files are totally unique. And what they use is blockchain technology, which is the same technology that cryptocurrency uses, to give that kind of NFT a public record of like proof of ownership. So It's one of a kind. Yeah?
So what does NFT stand for?
A non-fungible token.
Right. And what is a blockchain?
A blockchain is like a public ledger, like it's a public record. Right. I mean, I won't go too in depth, but the easiest way to understand.
Okay, but dig a bit deeper because this is going to be like dummy 101.
Yeah. I mean, like the easiest way to understand it is to go to something like a website like Binance.com or even Google and just and see some of the dummy guides on there. But the blockchains, the public ledgers, cryptocurrency that you'll know of, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, you'll be heard all these. Those are kind of like different currencies that are operating on different chains. Mm-hmm. NFTs just take this like one step further, where they're just like individual tokens that are like uniquely identified. And I'm probably not doing this any justice whatsoever. But for me, I dabbled in crypto and buying coins, not really understanding what I'm doing. But then I kind of like read more into different projects and I started investing in different coins. But then NFTs were more of a kind of gateway into the world of investing for me, because it was so much more fun. It was more visual. Right.
I mean, like, just talk about the coins. Like, what are some of your successful coins that you dealt with?
Oh wow! So back in the day,
how far are we going back?
I mean, I was like quite a few people where I started in 2017.
Wow!
And that's when like there's an original kind of the first like major bull run where like cryptocurrency became a bit mainstream. Everyone got Coinbase accounts. That's the platform where you buy currencies, and everyone was just throwing money into it, not really understanding what they're doing. And then the prices just went crazy of everything. Bitcoin went to a crazy price. All these little coins went to crazy price, all these side projects. If you see each one of these currencies or these coins as a technology company, then it makes it easier to understand. Each one of these companies or currencies or coins has a different utility. They're not just random. Each one is trying to solve a different real world problem. Like Bitcoin is trying to be a new form of money, for example. Ethereum is how people transact on blockchain. Essentially, it's like the gas of blockchain. It helps things move from one place to another. And most NFTs are based on a lot of NFTs are based on Ethereum. And you use Ethereum to kind of move an NFT, for example, from one place to another or one wallet to another.
Awesome.
Some of the coins that I've invested in, things like VeChain, Ethereum. I invested in. I started off with some of like XRP, some of the bigger ones, but then kind of as I got more of an interest in digital art and like the art side of NFTs, I kind of moved more into coins that support things like the art and things like online gaming and like ways of kind of like making passive income.
Mm-hmm. Are you invested in Solana?
Solana, I did. Yeah, it went crazy. There are a lot of NFTs based on Solana. I have a bit of that. I wouldn't personally buy any more right now at these crazy prices. But yeah, it's definitely solving a problem. It's just like Ethereum, but without the big fees, and it's much faster and much more efficient. But all these little bits and pieces and snippets you get to learn as you read about the different utilities of all these different chains.
So how are you making your decision on what coin to invest in?
Fabulous question. Yeah, so for me, the first one goes down to personal interest. Like, am I invested in this project? Like, does it interest me? I recently invested in a coin called Blocktopia because I'm fascinated by all this chat about the metaverse. And Blocktopia essentially is going to be an online world. Yeah.
By the way, we don't give investment advice.
No. None of this is investment advice. I'm just like
your personal. Yeah.
It's just what I've done. I mean, like Blocktopia is like it's going to be an online world. It's going to be the home of crypto, and it's going to be essentially a skyscraper in a digital world where you go in as an avatar and you can learn about crypto. And they've got all these partnerships with all these different crypto companies that are all going to have houses and base within this metaverse of crypto. And I'm like, wow, there's some big influencers involved. There's some gaming involved, big brands involved. I see some legs. And I got a tip from a friend of mine. So I went in and bought some, and then, yeah, it's gone from like just 2 months ago, 0.004 cents. Right. That's like less than half a cent. Like a couple of weeks ago, it went to 20 cents. So you do the math. You do the math on that, right? So
can I just ask?
Worth still buying, or
is it still a good buy-in? I don't give advice, dude. but I expect there to be more upside.
Right.
I've got my tokens like an ISA locked away until next year. I'm keeping my fingers crossed it keeps its price, but who knows what will happen.
And what sort of sites, apps are you using in order to kind of look at these coins? Or
yeah, so this kind of goes back to the NFT world, right? Because I'm not the biggest, I'm not the strongest on like coins, and I rely a lot on advice from other people.
I'll come back to your advice in a second, actually. We'll go on.
Yeah, so I will look at so go back to your previous question. So I'm looking at like the strength of the team behind the coin. Right. I'm looking at what kind of field it is. I'm originally from the field of like advertising and marketing. Okay. So anything that I can understand, right, I will probably be more likely to invest in. But like when I don't understand the project, then I rely on my friends, and it kind of goes back to what I was doing in NFT. I kind of built a community of like-minded people. I guess people that got fed up with life during the lockdown.
Was this on Discord by any chance?
Yeah, it is on Discord. Yeah. Right. I started on Telegram originally, and then we've moved over to Discord, and we've used different platforms to trade. We've keep giving each other advice. And we've just built a community of about 60 people who we trust implicitly with money. Like,
Right.
I don't even trust my real life friends with money, right? I never lend anyone money, but these people who I have no idea who they are, I've never seen them before. We've traded with each other, we've helped each other out, and we've become really good friends, even though we don't know what each other looks like. But like,
What app is this on?
Is this on Discord?
It's on Discord. And
How'd you get invited?
Yeah, that's the next
That's what I need
question.
to know.
Yeah.
How'd you get invited? We're all trying to make money here.
I created this place myself. I created my own community, right? And then I brought people in. So I built up the brand of Purplesky, and I started putting out calls on NFTs. Like, I put reviews up online on, here's a new project. This is why I think it will do well. This is what to look out for. I'm going to invest my own money in it. This is not like financial advice, but I think it's got legs. And more people followed my calls, and people made quite a bit of money from that. So yeah, like they came to my gang basically.
So how do we qualify?
How do we qualify?
What's the application process?
Do you do references or and bank payments?
Yeah. Well, let's just say that I probably my community is probably small fry compared to the hundreds that are out there on Discord. And what I advise to everybody is, number one, start doing exactly what I did. Start doing your own research first, right? So get onto Twitter, get onto NFT Twitter.
Right.
All the answers are on NFT Twitter. The first person you should follow is someone like Gary V, for example.
Yeah.
I know it's quite cringy to say, but like the guy's brilliant. And then he talks some sense, and he's big into the NFT world and supporting projects out there. He's not shilling to make money. So most of the time, well, he is and isn't, but you can't really go wrong with like listening to his advice of life, let alone NFT side. And then from there, you can see who is following Gary V, who's posting NFT. Type in the hashtag, and just follow those accounts. Build up a community on Twitter. And as you're talking to people on Twitter, as you're posting, as you're buying into different projects, when you buy a project, it's not just about making money. It's about getting involved in the community.
Yeah, I heard about this.
Yeah, because like all these NFT projects, right? They're not just going to make money. They're like increasing value out of nowhere, right? People aren't just going to buy it for no reason. People buy these like it's more than just digital art, right? There's a whole community behind it. There's the whole people, a whole movement that are driving the prices up, who are deciding on the direction of the project, who are adding value. But it's the people that add the value behind these projects. So then, yeah, you get on Discord, you find the projects you like, you join their community, you talk to the people in that forum, and then you get to meet people in there. Like, you get to trade with them, you get to follow advice, and then you'll see people popping up with communities left, right, and centre. It's just about joining them and getting involved.
I'm going to like swerve ever so slightly. So for those that are listening, and you know, I know that everyone's got a friend that does NFTs and whatever, but I actually know you. Can you just explain that? What do you actually own on the NFT side of things?
Okay, all right. So I've probably got a portfolio of like nearly 2,000 NFTs.
What? Wait, rewind.
Course of years. Yeah.
You got a portfolio of what?
Yeah, about 2,000 NFTs. Yeah.
And just for those that don't know, you actually own one of the Bored Ape yacht clubs, don't you?
I'm into 22 Bored Ape.
Wait. Stop the bod. Stop the podcast now. You own 22 Bored Ape.
No, I don't own 22 Bored Apes anymore, but I minted 22. I was an OG minter. I found out about that project well early.
That's the one I wish I was in.
Just so you know, so when the first original story, when your phone popped off, you actually showed me one of the Bored Ape that you actually own. Do you still own that one, by the way?
I don't anymore.
Did you sell it for the price you wanted it? You wanted to get it? So did you sell it for the price you wanted?
This is the biggest lesson, and there are many people out there with me. Right? If I had 222 Bored Apes right now, you know how
You could buy a country.
He wouldn't be on his cool.
You know where I'd be?
To his private island.
You know where I'd be right now. But like, look, it doesn't work out like that, right? Because you're selling into pumps, you're selling on the way up. Luckily, I had a couple left over at the end, so I got some very good prices for them. But the only reason why I sold them is because I knew that I could make more on that money than leaving it in Bored Apes. I can get a higher yield elsewhere, but no doubt I'll buy back into it with. Once I've made my yield on what I got for the Bored Ape, I'll buy another one back because they're history, man. My next
question. I know you might want to talk about it, but I need this. This is going to be one of those inspirational ones. Let's talk about your losses.
Yeah, plenty of them.
Because everyone thinks, you lost money, but no one knows the journey, how you got to where you got to.
For sure.
Yeah, totally. So, like, I mean, yeah, the biggest. I mean, some like I would consider like selling 20 out of 22 Bored Apes before it reached the top. Quite a big loss, you know. But for me, it's all about learning those lessons and learning from them, and maybe being a bit more patient and holding for a longer time. Patience is really, really key in the NFT world. But there's also been some projects that I've spent quite significant money on. One of the first ones I bought was this project called Apimon, which is really, really famous in the NFT world for, like, it was a massive rug pull, basically. Like, we all bought into these really, really amazing eggs that had these monsters, and it was going to be like the Pokemon of the NFT world. I remember getting an offer on one of my eggs for 10 ETH. Woo. 10 ETH at
it's
the
like
moment.
3K now.
It's probably it's about everything's in dollars, but it's probably about 40.
So that's like 30K.
Yeah, it is the currency. About $45K at the moment. I got an offer for that, and then back then, that in my early days, that's life changing money, right?
Yes. Yes, bluntly.
Yeah,
like us again. How do we join the group?
What's the name of your community?
I turned the offer down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I thought this was going to be the biggest project in sliced bread, and I turned the offer down. And yeah, the owner of that project, the devs of the project, basically ran away with a lot of the money and left it for dead. And I owned 44 of these Apimons, and I've got nothing really to show for it. So yeah, that was a big loss. I mean, there has been a project that have come in and tried to rescue it, and they work on it now. The community is trying to save it, and I'm hoping that I can get involved somewhere to help. But yeah, there's a lot of people caught short there. There are, and then what you'll find now, because NFTs got so popular and so many like new people are coming into it, they don't necessarily know what to look out for, what red flags to look out for.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah, that's security. A lot of security issues, isn't it? Right?
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people also believe, like the Twitter influencers, a little bit too hard. That they buy into Instagram hype. So there's a lot of the 99% of the projects out there are worthless. Basically, they're just generic copies created by the same development teams. They're just because they know that you can put anything out and it will sell. Basically,
because I remember.
Where do you put your money?
Yeah, well, I was about to say. So how do you avoid that?
Because I remember there was an OFB coin, and I think it was Heady One and his people that they did. So apparently, a lot of people put money in, and then I think there was some calculation, there was something wrong on the back end. So people who put their money in before the ICO lost like 40% on the first hour.
What's the ICO?
Yeah,
it's like it's a equivalent of like an IPO for a public company. So it's like, so I'm probably not the best person to explain it, but I'm just giving limited advice. But basically, an ICO, I think it is when a coin is public to the public.
So okay, I get that. Yeah. So IPO is when your company goes public, so people can buy into it shares.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of like for an ICO is that for equivalent of like say Bitcoin when your coin goes public.
Yeah, when your coin goes public.
Right, okay, cool. So
That's right, right?
Yeah, I'm not the crypto expert, but I did lose a lot of money to ICOs back in 2018, 2017. A lot, right? That's everything. You go into this investment, right, the same way you would buying a stock, right, or investing into a technology company or a pharmaceutical company or a finance company or a retail company. See these projects as a company, right? Who's the CEO? Who's the CTO? Who's the product team? Who's the development team? Are they using their real names? Right?
That's right. Real talk.
It's true, you know.
So like, you've got to like really kind of scrutinize what you're putting your money in before you give your money over. So like, do you have faith in that team? Do they have a long-term vision, a roadmap that you can see that's like deliverable? Is it solving a real world problem? Or is it just like a carbon copy of everything else? Like,
just a hype.
If it's just is it just hype? Like you look out for the influence. Are they putting all their money into just paying for influencers, right? Then you know there's no like legs to it. But if they're if it's something that's original, they've got an original concept. It's really changing something or doing something different. It's innovative. Is the art? If it's an NFT, does the art look awesome or really different? Has it got like a famous artist behind it? What's the track record of that team? So all these different things that you would think of when you're investing money in the real world, you just got to apply online before you, and then you go out, go and see, go into their Discord, talk to the rest of the community, research on Twitter, and really get a feel for that investment before you put money in.
Okay. So what would you say if people say crypto NFT is a scam? Because I know a lot of people are talking about it's a scam.
Also, it's a phase facade. I know a lot of trend that's going on.
Yeah,
so much like the .com boom.
Look, there's two sides to that, right? Like arguably, fiat cash is a scam because that's just like the that's just the banks and just printing money, right? So. But then at the same side, yeah, 100%, 90%, maybe more of all the projects out there are going to be scams. No, there's no question about that. I'd agree. That's why you kind of have to park aside so many of the things that are out there. And then you got to think like, look, am I in this to change the world, or am I in this to make some money, right? And with any Ponzi scheme, anyone can get rich from it. Like True. You just got to know when to cash out.
Yeah.
True. So like in the NFT game, like there's two ways to play it. So like you can play the flip game, so you buy it, and then you wait for a good. You've got the tools online there to understand when money's coming in, what the volumes are, and when's a good time to exit and sell and flip. Like make a quick 3x, 5x, 10x, yeah?
Goodness me.
Maybe nothing. Maybe you're taking the loss and you're getting out there before losing all your money. But then there's also the hodl game, and that's holding on until things grow. And things like Bored Apes, for example, I played the flip game. I should have played the hodl game. I think you mentioned before, like what projects am I into now? I can name 3 that I'm hodling. 1, Rumble Kong League. This is going to be the NBA Jam of NFTs.
What's it called?
It's like Rumble Kong League. It's one of the, I think it's the ex-marketing director or the marketing director of Sandbox, which is like a metaverse. He's building this, and I think there's a team there that used to be at Activision Blizzard.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, so they're building a basketball game with these monkey NFTs who are going to be the characters, and the owners of these NFTs are going to be able to hire out the characters for people to play, right? And own franchises. Nice. Yeah, so I've been hodling that since the day it got released. Like that's
but the NFTs are not out yet.
No, they've been out for a while. That's another thing. It's like you don't have to wait, or you don't have to only get an NFT from the beginning. You can buy it any time. We've just come out of a period of what we call it a bear market, right? We just where all the NFT prices were very stagnant and even dipped. Like a lot of the projects were losing 100% of its value over the past few weeks. It was a perfect time to buy. But unfortunately, the general public, including myself included, we only tend to put our money in when there's hype.
Okay.
So you've got to be smart. Buy low, sell high, you know? Like it's, and another one that I'm hodling at the moment is Frogland.io. The pictures of frogs, right?
It's so mad. Why is it all animals?
Well, that's the thing. They're not always just animals. I mean, animals just seem to be kind of cute and they have that sellability factor, right? Same with any kind of collectible. But there's another project that I think I'm one of the top 3 holders. Maybe it's the biggest holder of it. But it's called AI Avatars. Super cheap right now. It hasn't got picked up the hype. But
sorry, that, please. What's this called, sir?
Oh yeah. It's called AI Avatars. AI Avatars, like avatars, but with AI in front.
Guys and girls, don't forget to bring your notepads and pens.
For real, this is
but like it's a project created by Trey Ratcliffe. Go watch his TED talk. Trey Ratcliffe.
Trey.
He's Trey, Trey. He's one of the world's most famous photographers, right? And he's created a project. And for me, having someone of that, and he's like good friends with like Mark Zuckerberg and Keanu Reeves and stuff.
Nice.
Having someone of that stature as the owner of the company, for me, I'm like, take my money. And then you look at these, and what they've created are these these AI NFTs. They're like superimposed images of people talking. They've asked the computers these questions about life and political situations and all sorts, and the computers have given their answers. And some of that shit, excuse my language, but some of that stuff is completely scary. It makes you realise that the robots are going to take over one day. But that's a project there that I believe in the future of, and it's super undervalued right now.
How much is it going for at the moment?
Probably about, I do everything in ETH. Probably about like, the cheapest, probably about 0.04 ETH. In pounds, that's probably, I don't know, about like 300 quid.
Yeah.
Don't know, 150 pound a pop.
Dope. What's your knowledge about the metaverse 3.0? Sorry, is it
Web?
Yeah,
the Web
3.
Web 3.
Yeah, Web 3.0.
Web 3.0, like, yeah. I mean, honestly,
always.
Honestly, always. I know that it's the future of the internet. Like, it's the next stage, like, and it's going to be a tokenized and decentralized world where, like, it's going to be less an internet world or an online world, less dictated by the walled gardens, and more power, I guess, and more freedom to people to operate in that space. But I'm not a Web3 expert.
Are you just staying in your lane?
I mean, for me, I know it's all about decentralization, but like that, I wouldn't be the person to kind of give you a spiel on that.
On a macro level, I know we're asking you loads of questions, and this is probably a question for everyone. Web3 has obviously been known for it to be decentralized, but what is your thoughts on Facebook, one of the biggest companies in the world, calling themselves or changing their name to Meta? And do you think that's going to be another wall garden?
Well, I think the metaverse per se is going to be a series of walled gardens. Like, these companies aren't going to change, but there will be a way for these walled gardens to have some sort of interoperability. We will be able to hop from the Twitter metaverse into the Facebook metaverse into Decentraland, into Sandbox, and that common thread that will link these together in my opinion, are going to be NFTs. I know that there'll be.
When you
these,
mean that, do you mean like, for example, let's say you have a, I don't know, NFT trainer, and you'll be able to wear that trainer in the Facebook metaverse and the Twitter metaverse and the whatever metaverse? Is that what you mean?
That's what I mean, exactly. Or if I have a board ape that represents me as my online persona, I'll be able to carry that persona as long as that particular token or particular NFT has some sort of integration with that metaverse. Then I'll be able to hop around and wear that piece of gear or wear that face or adopt that persona wherever I am. I mean, Facebook rebranding as Metaverse, it's inevitable, right? They've just been, they just wanted to be a first market mover and get that name out and coin it and make it synonymous with Facebook first. I think it's a genius move. I think as an umbrella company, to be called one of your products doesn't make sense. But they are they are bigger than Facebook. I mean, arguably, Instagram is bigger than Facebook as a platform. Facebook is just the data behind it all that connects it all. But it makes sense for the parent company not to be called Facebook. They've moved on. Likewise, all the negative connotations that come with the Facebook brand, and they haven't always been the most responsible of companies regarding data and protection, especially of young people. And I think they'll be the first to admit that. This kind of gives them a new start to, I guess, as we are creating this, and tech companies and people in general are creating this new Web3, this new internet world. I think it gives a chance for Facebook to do it right this time, and then hopefully the market crashing.
It's a bear market. It's a bear market. But it gives an opportunity for Facebook to really kind of stamp their authority with lead and do things right this time. And if they're parting their flagpole in saying, look, we are going to be key builders within the metaverse space, you can trust us, and we've learned from our mistakes. We can build a better world online now. And at least I hope that's what they're going to be doing. I hope so too, man. Let's wrap things up. Guys, any more questions?
Tell the people, where can we go to buy NFTs?
Yeah, okay. This is really, really, really exciting times right now because the online world is catering for new people and new money, and they want you to come in and use your credit cards and use your debit cards to kind of fuel the market. So just be careful with how you use your money. Don't invest what you can't afford. Everything.
That's the best advice, man.
Invest it like it's a loss, and if you gain something, it's a bonus.
Right.
But so like crypto,
What, sorry?
The easiest way to do crypto, the easiest way to get involved is first to convert your cash into a cryptocurrency that you can use in the NFT world, and that's probably Ethereum, unless you're using something like Solana. But then you can use platforms like a Coinbase, for example, if you're a bit more advanced. Sorry?
He's OpenSea's for NFTs, isn't it? OpenSea.
OpenSea, yeah. But first you need to get your currency, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you need to set up a wallet, like your own wallet. I use MetaMask, for example, because it's safe. With I added security, but then you fund your wallet with the money not the money, but the cryptocurrency that you bought off a platform like Coinbase. Once you have your MetaMask, once you have your wallet, then you connect to an OpenSea, which is essentially just a online aggregator, like a marketplace where people list their NFTs. You can buy, you can trade. So OpenSea I use, but it can be complicated. I think in like 2-3 months time, Coinbase will be opening up their marketplace and hopefully be making things a lot more simpler for everyday people to come in and spend.
Okay.
So watch out for Coinbase NFT.
Thank you. I've learned a lot.
I'm so right, man. Imagine this is like the most. This kind of beats every YouTube video that I've kind of watched with hours and hours of content.
Yeah.
I kind of got a good bite-sized snapshot of what's going on. And thank you very much, Purplesky, for breaking things down to us, man. Because there's a lot of people out there that don't really know what's going on. I think you explained it very, very well for I mean, the average Joe.
Eric, it's not a magic money tree, but like I've been able to get a better quality of life. Quit my job.
I know you quit. I know. We had that conversation. I know you quit your job. I know. That's when I thought. That's when my eyes pricked up. My ears pricked up. I was like, yeah.
It can be done, but it took a lot of it started off as a hobby first until it got to that stage. So it's not a magic money tree that people are going to get rich overnight. But it's an interesting hobby to do on your evenings and weekends and to supplement your income. But the main thing is don't invest what you can't afford and learn what you're doing before you jump in.
Love that, man.
Excellent. Thank you.
Love that advice, man.
Thank you again, man.
Purplesky, thank you very much, man. Who knows? We'll probably get you back on the show again, though, man.
For sure. Definitely.
Absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, man.
We catch up.
All the best.
Yeah, take care, man. Peace. And that's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. And make sure you subscribe, watch, click, tell your friends about this good stuff. Because this is probably the best way to probably give our children and our family financial freedom and that good stuff, man. Like, I want to be the kind of person, I want to go Nando's, I want to buy the dip and not feel like I'm gonna have my pocket. I want to buy the burritos and not feel like the guacamole is gonna sting me.
I'm not gonna lie. You know what? Like when I was talking to a few of my friends, I said, you know what? This is something that we should have been learning from school.
From school, bro.
Like this is something we should have been learning our whole lives.
But can you imagine if like the kids in school was learning like crypto? But then again, they probably end up just quitting school and think, why am I doing like?
A lot of them just be millionaires.
Exactly.
By the time to get the college.
If they're killing it and they're getting it in, forget it.
Yeah, I hear that.
A lot of them are doing it though.
Yeah.
Some of them doing it.
So some smart ones out there, man. But yeah, I guess we'll hold that for another conversation, guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks so much for listening, man. And stay tuned for the next one, man.
Yes.
Peace.
Peace out.